Welcome back to Yoga with me. My name is Yama. It's the Iyengar style yoga. I just did a video on right angle poses that I want to do a continuing sequence for. And so we're going to begin. We did Dandasana, we did dog pose, and those are all forward bends to some degree, not full forward bends. So here's Dandasana. So you can see it's a right angle. So we're going to continue with this position and add some more things in. So start in Dandasana with your feet together, inner heels and big toes touching. You can roll to the side and pull your sitting bone out and back away from your foot. And when you sit back down, you can feel the difference in the sitting bone that you haven't done that with. Go ahead and do that, and that lengthens the backs of your legs and it creates a nice platform, you would say, foundation for sitting and extending. You can see your feet. That gives you an advantage. You can teach your feet to fan out this way. You don't, when you relax your legs, your feet flop with the little toes moving towards each other and the big toes moving away. You want to reverse that. So bring your feet back into Tadasana and fan out the ball of your foot and bring your little toe side of the foot towards you. One nice way to do that is with the belt. Again, you can take the belt and put it around the ball of the foot so that you can push the foot into the belt. That gives it a surface. It gives it a, there's a word I want, an idea, that's not the word, but it gives it a reference. That's the word. So it can use the belt as it's used as a floor, really, and extend your heels towards the wall in front of you. And spread, the belt makes it a little harder to spread your toes. So you can just get that feel on the ball of your foot maybe and press the thighs down and lift the spine up and release that belt. And keep that action in the ball of your foot going. Spread your toes. Good. Take your hands to the sides of your hips. Use your arms to help lift the spine. Open your chest. Descend your legs. Any amount. Descend from the base of your quadricep all the way through it. Down. You want the backs of your legs to be on the floor one day. And then lift up. It's quite a lot of work. It's quite aerobic. Whenever you start squeezing your muscles, your heart has to work. Good. And let's one more time extend our arms up before we move out of our original pose here and to the poses that are similar to it. Really lift. So you're working, aren't you? You're working. Your arms are working. Yeah. Press down. Feel your buttock bones. Feel your spine, the base of your spine to be in the middle between those two sitting bones. Let them descend as you lift your upper body. Good. Release the back of your neck. You tend to hold tension there. Maybe close your eyes for a moment and just release the back of your neck. It's a nice, nice relief there when you let that go. Continue to press those legs and lift those arms. One last breath or two. And exhale, release. Good. Breathing, maybe bring the hands back gently. Don't work your arms, but just don't work your legs. Just be here, but breathe and be inside, noticing what part of your bodies are speaking to you. Could be your abdomen. staying like this, even though I'm done with the pose, is making my abdomen continue to work. So I don't really want to do that. Okay, second pose we're going to be doing, we did this in the last sequence, it should be familiar if you were there. I'm going to have you take a blanket. This is a Mexican blanket. They're nice and firm. They're cotton for the most part, I think. You can put them in the washing machine. I don't dry them, but I've had them for many, many, many years. They're nice and firm, whereas a bed blanket is too soft. So you want to get a yoga blanket, and this is one version of a yoga blanket. I'm going to fold it this way and put it behind me. I'm going to put it at the wall. You don't need to do that. It's nice to do it though, because you can use the wall. So I'm going to sit on the very edge of it, and without asserting my leg, I'm going to bring my right leg in and my left. Bring the heels together, bring the heels as close to your groin as you can, and then use your arms and lift yourself up and bring your sitting bones back towards the wall and descend back down. It's very, if you like yoga, you're going to like these positions. Actually, babies do these little poses without knowing it. They're very flexible and they're very natural. I find them in these poses from time to time. Pressing the outer edge of your feet together, opening up like a book, the foot, so you can take the hands and open your foot somewhat. Notice your arches lifting towards your knees. I see people sometimes think that because of the shape of the pose that they want to press on their knees. You don't. The pose is not happening in your knees. It's happening because you're pushing your feet together and your thighs have a bone that fit into your hip socket. And it's the feet and the hips that are working right now. So the thigh bone is rotating outward. So you can take your hands on your thighs and use your thumbs on the skin and roll your skin, open your thighs. You can do that. You can't do this. That can harm you. Joints are so fragile, really. They're strong, but they're also fragile. You have to be very careful with them. You don't want to overdo anything with them because they don't heal easily. So you want to be very mindful of your joints. So we're working in the hip joint, not the knee joint. The knee joint's working, but it's pretty stationary. We don't want to assert or initiate from our knees at all. You can push down on the hips, this hip joint, you can push down there. You can even have someone stand on you or push on you here. It's very, very nice to get that kind of adjustment. So a lot of poses in yoga, we will be rotating our legs, our thighs outward. We will be opening the hips. There are hip opener poses, and this is basically very much one of them. So today our poses are going to be seated, but we do a lot of standing poses, opening the hips and rotating the thighs outwards. And that's what Baddhakonasana, this pose, is teaching your body to do. And you can sit and watch a video in this pose. You can sit and eat. I've done that many times, and watch a video at the same time. I've done that with Mr. Iyengar's videos. I remember 2004 or 5 just comes to my mind. Anyway, that's mostly it. My teacher used to just have us all sitting in this around the room, and she used to chat and maybe tell a joke, because the point is to just be here. Be here for 10, 15 minutes, which we're not going to do, but I wanted to get this pose in because it filters into the next poses. So while you're sitting here, and you can lift yourself up again and reposition yourself, because sometimes we migrate away from the wall unknowingly, and bring your shoulders to the wall. Oh, feel your chest open and lift. So descend through your pelvic area, through your leg, buttock bones and the roots of your legs in the hip, to send that aspect of your body and lift your ribs and open your upper chest and breathe. So you're working, and press your feet together. The more you do that, I'm really not very open in my hips. I don't know why my legs go down, but I don't think that because I'm tight in lots of ways, but for some reason my legs drop easily in this. But otherwise, there are lots of open hip poses that aren't so easy for me. Bringing those shoulders back, using the ball, and breathing, and being here, and working, and being, and enjoying, hopefully. All right? So that's Baddhakonasana. Now we're going to gently, slowly, mindfully bring our feet back, knees together, and extend our legs out. So when you extend your leg, you're going to do one at a time. This will be my left leg, just haphazardly. Take your hands beneath the back of your knee and stretch your leg out and press it down. So you're pressing into your hands. So you're supporting the back of your knee. Remember I said you have to be very delicate with your knees. Pay a lot of attention to how you do things, because you can get knee problems and you don't want that. Okay, so I'm gonna actually what I'm gonna do is fold up my mat here and make a little extra cushion for myself. And I'll bring it to my blanket, and I'll remain on my blanket. We're going to do Janusirsasana. We'll start out in Pascimottanasana, which is, again, like a Tadasana, legs and feet. And if you have a belt, which I recommend you come to classes with me with belts, take it. I'm just unfastening it. And doubling it is good because it makes it extra strong. And extend forward to your, that might not be so good. Extend forward on the balls of the feet so that you can reach for your feet. But if you can't reach your feet, you can reach as far as you can and have the belt extend that reach for you. Okay? So you can sit up straight to begin, which is a Dandasana again. We did that earlier. And then start to walk your hands towards your feet and use your belt if you can't reach your feet. Press into those thighs. It's basically the same instructions in the legs and feet and different parts of the body, that we're just in different postures. So it makes the pose more challenging, because it may be very challenging to sit in Dandasana to make yourself into a forward bend like a 90 degree. That may be very hard on your hamstrings and your lower back. And then when you come into an even more strenuous situation, Pascimottanasana, it gets more challenging. The more you can do the actions in the feet and the legs, the more your body will heat up and melt, in a sense, or actually, so that you can come further and further into these poses. So Pascimottanasana is a very strong forward fold. You want to release the neck and head. The first time you do the pose, it's a lot different than the second. The second time you're going to be able to go much further, or second, third, and fourth times. You can feel different areas of your body. Your attention may be drawn to your hips since there's so much folding going on there. So do this several times. I'm not going to do that in the video, but do it several times before you move on to the next pose, which is Janusirsasana. You're going to take your right leg and keep it soft. You're going to manipulate your leg with your hands and arms. You're not going to lift your leg with your leg and hip. And you're going to pull, pull, pull until your inner groin and your heel touch, just like they did in Baddhakonasana. But we're only doing one leg for Janusirsasana. Then we come to the Pascimottanasana part of it. Reach for your foot and come to sitting straight up. You're already doing a forward bend, but it's not extreme. And then you can walk your hands forward on the belt. And if you don't need the belt, you can come forward all the way. Let the head release and hang. You can also extend your arms so that you can grasp the wrist and release. So this is a very asymmetrical pose where one side of your body is doing Baddhakonasana and the other side of your body is doing Pascimottanasana. Forward bends, you may start to notice this. I'm not going to say it till we do some more, but they have an effect on you. See if you can notice how these forward bends affect you while you're in them and when you come out of them. So again, we're not going to use our legs. We're going to manipulate our legs with our hands and arms. That keeps the hips soft. I had a teacher who really emphasized that, and so I'm going to continue that. Get yourself back up on your blanket if you've slid off. You don't want the buttock bones hanging over the lip of the blanket. You want them just at the edge, just before the edge. All right, so that you can move forward without having a big blanket under your thigh, but it is supporting your upper back, your lower back, and your seat. Take the left leg, bring it up, draw the heel into the groin, extend the belt if you need it, and sit straight up. It's good for all of us to use the belt when we sit straight up. You don't have to, but press into the belt and descend that right thigh down. So this standing leg, even though we're not standing, it's your back leg. And when you're in standing poses, we use our back legs because our front leg is the one that appears to be doing, but the only way the front leg can do is if the back leg is supporting it. So our attention is really on the least obvious place, although because we're forward bending on it, it becomes more of a front leg. I guess it plays both roles. They switch back and forth. Now this feels like the back leg, but when you're sitting up here, this is the leg to pay a lot of attention to. You're going to be activating your bent leg foot, your left leg, and using that foot, descending into the groin to keep the action in Baddhakonasana happening. You don't want to forget about this leg. It's not just you put it there and you walk away from it and you concentrate here. You're concentrating always on everything. And often the least obvious, which I guess this will be the back leg now, becomes something you need to prioritize. Again, you can extend your wrist out over your straight leg and clasp your left wrist in your right hand. Use that straight leg. Use that bent leg. You'll notice that your bent leg side, your left side, is different than your right side. It's asymmetrical, this pose. So your left side has to stretch a little bit more to come out over that extended leg, doesn't it? In order to do this, you have to really ground into that bent leg sitting bone, because otherwise it's going to pop up and come forward off the blanket. You don't want that. You want it to be going towards the blanket as the rest of your torso goes away from the blanket. So two directions. That's usually what's going on. Inhale, come on up, press down with your leg to come up, and exhale, release. I don't remember if we did both sides. Yes, we did. That happens. Okay, again, lift up and bring your sitting bones back if you need to. I truly don't remember if we did both sides. Did we? Nobody's here to tell me. I think we did. You can do it again later, but we're going to move on to the next pose, which is UpavistaKonasana. No, it's not. I skipped a pose, so we're going to do the pose I skipped. You're going to continue to be on your blanket. I'm just coming forward a bit, away from the wall this time. And you're going to take your left leg and bend it like this. This pose is called Marichyasana. It's a warrior pose. And you're going to extend that left arm up and reach for your foot. If you can't reach your foot, you're going to use your belt, right? So we're going to reach for the foot. This knee is going to go out a little bit because our body has to come forward. Press into that standing straight leg. Press it down. Again, the pose is asymmetrical. It may not feel so balanced. You may feel a little pressure in your knee. Everyone's got different situations that they're going to experience. Let's do the second. Right leg in, extend up and reach through to the foot with your right arm, and then come forward. You can take that clasp, the wrist in the hand again if you can get there, and release your breath. Breathe into the pose. Breathe. Use your standing leg strongly, your straight leg strongly to come forward, pressing it down. So you can see there's something similar to Janusirsasana and Marichyasana because one leg's bent and the foot is in the groin again. All right, this time we're going to bend the left leg and we're going to reach our arm up and we're going to bring our elbow onto the other side of the knee and take the left hand in back and straighten the palm and lift up, lift the chest and revolve. Turn towards your left side. Lift the ribs, especially the right ribs. Lift up. You might feel that you're being pulled down, but lift up your ribs, lift up your chest. Push the arm into the knee. Descend your straight leg, quadricep, and lift one last time as you inhale. And exhale, turn to the left a little bit more. Down into that quadricep on the floor. Lift those ribs and turn. Breathe. And exhale. When you're ready, come back to center. Use your leg, use your hands again to manipulate your leg rather than your leg. It keeps your hip socket soft. We want that softness so that we can bend in deeply into that hip. Okay, this time we're going to extend the left arm up, right hand back behind. You can push on your knee to bring your shoulder more towards your knee to get as much of this arm on this outside of the right leg and stretch through that left hand. And then start your twist. You're already twisted, okay? So be in that standing leg and foot, the one on the floor, the straight one. And as you inhale, don't turn, just lift, lengthen. And as you exhale, turn to the right. And again, be in that standing foot and leg. leg, the one on the floor, the straight leg. As you inhale, lift your ribs, lift your chest, and as you exhale, revolve. Do this several times at your own pace, working with that leg on the floor, the straight leg, that foot, that's the left leg, that quadricep pressing down, that's a Dandasana leg. And then inhale, lift, stretch through your hands too, this upward reaching hand. It's going the same direction as your spine, so it's partnering you. And revolving as you exhale. Enjoy the twist. It's such a sweet thing for the body to be able to twist. Exhale, release when you're ready. And again, pamper and take care of this leg. Good. That feels, you can feel quite a lot of movement in that pose. It's very refreshing. All right, so next pose, UpavistaKonasana. So I'm going to take my second mat and spread it out. It's nice to stay up on your blanket. You don't have to, but it helps the forward bend come. And you're going to, this time, your legs will be in Dandasana, and then you'll spread them out. Open them up. UpavistaKonasana, open angle pose. Have your feet in Tadasana, always, so that your feet and your legs are doing exactly what they would do if they were standing. You don't want your feet going from side to side. You don't want to forget about your feet at all, because all of this work starts in the foot. I think of the foot as the accelerator in the car. You're pushing on the gas and it's flowing up into your legs. And that flows up into your pelvis and your abdomen. Truly. Actually, I know, because my abdomen is very toned. When I'm doing a lot of yoga, my abdomen gets toned from my legs. I'm not toning my abdomen, but it receives it, so I know that it happens. Okay, and then just bring your hands beside you as in Dandasana, and lift the spine as you descend the legs and sitting bones and work from your feet. Pressing down, lifting up. So I'm not just sitting here, I'm working. And it feels good. I like this feeling. People that do yoga like to feel these things. So the shins are pressing to the floor. The thighs are gripping. And the ribs are lifting, side, front, and back. And chest is opening. It's very, very much the same scenario. The shoulder blades are moving in towards the spine and down. Good. And now we can begin to come forward. So take your hands in front, and it's going to be different for everybody, and it's not anything to push. If you're feeling pain in the legs, that means you're working. It's not bad pain, it's good pain, we say. You know, there's a difference between, oh, that's too much, and oh, I feel that I'm working, I can feel this. That means I'm pushing myself to an edge. And I'm gonna stay at that edge. I'm not gonna push through that edge or beyond that edge, because then I can harm myself. You stay at the edge and keep working the legs and working the feet and lifting the spine and lifting the ribs and opening the collarbones. And if you can walk a little far forward, do so. If not, just stay right there. Breathe. Be in your feet. Feel the outer edge of your foot and the inner edge of your foot where your arch is, and allow that arch to lift all the way through your inner legs, all the way into your hips. Press the thighs down. Extend into those feet. This is very much a foot and leg pose. Good. Okay, you're going to come back up. Breathe. Make sure you're on your blankets, because you're coming forward, and this time you're going to turn to the right. And as you turn, you want to be descending in that back sitting bone so it doesn't lift up and come with you. You want it to be going away from the direction you're going in. You want it to root, which allows you to extend your torso, and you want this back leg to be where your mind is, because it's allowing you to go, your left leg is allowing you to go to the right. So you're going to come forward over your right leg as you stay in that left leg and left sitting bone. Press into your front leg as well. You need to be pressing that right leg down, but you're going to stay in your left rear leg. And you're going to lengthen both sides of your torso, lifting the ribs, lifting the chest, being in the feet, being in the legs, rotating to the right, out over that right outstretched leg. Come as far as you feel comfortable. And again, reach into your back leg, the left leg. Feel the twist. We did some twisting preparation. Now we're twisting again. And inhale, come on up, sit forward, get yourself aligned, take some breaths. You don't want to be doing the next part of the pose if you're out of breath, right? So you just take your time, just experience being, experience the body, experience the breath. In our culture, and really in the global culture, we're not practiced at being in our bodies. And this practice will teach that. It will give you those experiences the whole time you're practicing. But sometimes we're so busy with our actions and our movements that we're not experiencing what we do when we come out of the pose. That's the opportunity. So turn towards your left leg and really descend that right sitting bone and thigh. Work that right foot so that your body can move away from that foot and leg, away from that right foot and leg, and move towards the left. It happens because of the grounding in this leg. Lifting up, using your arms to help turn your torso, and exhaling. Come forward slowly, gradually, just to where your edge is, and come back to your back leg, back to your back hips and sitting bone, back to your back foot. Come towards the left foot, but don't let your sitting bone pop up. My sitting bone just popped up, so I have to back up a little bit, descend it. I can twist a little more. I can get more into the twist than I can into the forward bend, because it will make me come off my buttock bones. Little by little, it all comes eventually. Inhale, come on up. Good. And so typically I would go forward again. I would go to the side again, maybe 2 or 3 times at least. I'm not going to take time in the video for that because it gets very long. Let's just bring our legs back into back into Baddhakonasana for one little moment, just to release the extension we've been working on. And I'm going to do one last pose called Navasana. It's a boat pose. Come off my blanket for this. I'm going to be bending both legs and sitting up, and I'm going to extend one leg and one arm up and down, and the other. And this time I'm going to extend both legs up and reach. First I'm going to reach my arms and lift my spine, ribs, chest, and then I'm going to extend my legs straight. Navasana. It's very strenuous, so I'm not going to talk. Press into those thighs any amount and reach into your feet any amount and extend those arms. Lift that rib cage, lift that chest. Exhale, release back to sitting. Quite strong. It's again another abdominal toning, but we're not working from our abdomen. We're working from our arms and legs. That's how you work with the spine. You work from the upper body and the lower body, and the spine gets pulled. So again, you can rest back on your both hands, extend your legs so that you have some support there, and then let your arms work. Keep lifting, keep breathing, keep working. When you're ready, you come out. I'm not going to be a militant enforcer. Bend the knees and come back up. Breathe. Okay, we're going to do 2 more, and this time in between, we're going to be bringing our legs into our chest and crunching, kind of holding. So there's work in the abdomen when you do this, but it's also, you're also resting. So just watch a moment. Navasana for about 5 breaths. Then I'm going to bend one shin in front of the other and squeeze for a few breaths. So my abdomen is getting worked. I'm squeezing my body. And I'm going to extend again for 5 breaths. And take the opposite shin in front and squeeze. Okay? This is one of the poses from the Ashtanga practice. I like it. It's hard. All right, let's do this. So you can rest back on your hands and extend your legs, reach your arms and start breathing. 4 to 5, 3, whatever you can do. 3, 4, 5 breaths. Then take your right leg in front and squeeze the thighs to the chest and hold. But breathe. So you're resting right now. And exhale, extend the arms forward and the legs forward if you can. Otherwise, use the floor for 5 breaths. And bring the left leg in front, the left shin, and balance on your buttock bones and squeeze. Yes. And release. Very good. And you can do that 6 times. You can work up to doing that 6 times. We're not going to do that here because it's time consuming and I don't know where everyone's at with going that many times. Okay. So we're going to do one last pose, and it's going to be lying down. You can watch me. All right, so you're going to bend your knees and put your feet under your heels. So you move the buttock bones close, and so I'm standing on my I'm standing on my hands, and I'm going to lift I'm pressing down with my arms, and I'm going to lift my buttocks and hips as much as I can with my arms underneath, pressing down. So it's like my arms have become my legs or my feet, and I'm pushing my feet into my hands, and lifting my pelvis up. And exhale, release. Okay, so let's do that. Lay down on your mat. Bend your knees and bring one foot at a time. Bring your hand under the soles of each foot. So you're standing on the inside of your palms, which makes your buttocks lift up a bit. So be aware of your shoulders. Down to your elbows and down to your wrists, and press that down. Press your feet down. Lift your buttocks up. Breathe through your nose only. Push the feet down. Push the arms down. Relax your head and neck. Breathe. Push down. Feet into your hands. Push down arms into the floor. Lift hips. Release the abdomen. Be soft there. Breathe. Exhale when you're ready to come down and just release the legs. Just lay down. Finally. Very good work. So take the feet about a foot or two apart. Just let them flop. Let the arms, so you want the upper arms to roll out, and you want there to be about a 45-degree angle in the armpit. You don't want your arms way, way, way out, and you don't want them close to your body. Somewhere in between. And feel your hips on the floor. So what I want you to do is I want you to bend your knees for a moment, and I want you to grip the sides of your mat, get yourself in the center of your mat, and lift up and tuck your lower back, tuck your buttocks towards your feet, and then hold the mat as you straighten your legs and push the mat towards your feet so that you lengthen the lower spine. You're drawing the lower spine towards your feet rather than up towards your shoulders, just to lengthen as you lay in that relaxed Shavasana position. And breathe through your nose and allow your body to become heavy. Let go. Finally, let go of everything, all the work, all the directing of yourself. And just be here. Feel the weight of your heels on the floor. Feel the weight of your buttocks and hips on the floor, heavy. Let the heels and the buttocks and hips drop into the earth. Let your upper torso and your shoulders be heavy as well, and let them drop into the earth as well. Heavy feet, heavy calves, heavy thighs and hips, heavy upper body and shoulders. And last but not least, heavy head, maybe the heaviest of all. The heavier you can become, the deeper your relaxation can go. Just take your time, go inward for a moment. because we're on a video and it's quiet, we need to not drift too far off. So I'm going to have you roll onto your right side. Just shift your hips, roll over for a moment and stay there, resting. And then take your left hand and put your palm on the floor and push until your other arm can help you push to support the lift of your spine and the openness of your chest. We'd like to maintain that. Come to cross-legged. Sit for a moment with your eyes closed and experience that triangular base and the lifting of your spine and your head. And you can open your eyes. I'm going to thank you so much for your attention and your work and your rest. And I hope you'll join me in another video soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.